The room was silent except for the sound of a single gavel. Bang! The committee chair leaned forward, eyes glinting with the kind of political confidence that feeds on headlines. "Mr. Kennedy," he said, his tone deliberately slow, "you are hereby fined $500,000 for violating campaign protocol." A soft murmur rippled through the chamber. Cameras clicked. Pundits whispered. Some smirked. Others simply waited for the reaction they were sure would come: a flash of temper, an angry retort, maybe even a concession. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. didn't move. He didn't blink. He simply folded the paper in front of him and looked at the panel of polished faces that had spent weeks preparing this spectacle. Then, almost quietly, he said, "I'm not paying it." The chair's grin spread wide, as though the trap had sprung. "Then your campaign is in violation, sir. You'll be disqualified from." Kennedy interrupted softly. "No. I'm not paying it to you. I'm escrowing it." A pause. Confusion flickered across faces. Kennedy leaned closer to the microphone. $500,000. Not for your games, not for your rules. For the men and women who came home from wars we never thanked them for. I'll put it in a veterans trust fund. Every cent will go to them. Because if I'm going to lose $500,000, it won't be to politics, it'll be to people. The room fell into an uneasy silence. The chair blinked, caught between outrage and disbelief. "You can't." But Kennedy had already stood up, gathering his papers. "I just did." Outside the building, the autumn wind carried the hum of distant protesters and news vans. Kennedy walked straight through the crowd, no entourage, no security posturing, just him and a calm conviction that felt heavier than the briefcase in his hand. Reporters swarmed him like bees around a spark. "Mr. Kennedy, is this a stunt? Are you refusing to obey the law? Do you think this helps your campaign?" He stopped in front of a veteran holding a sign that read, "We fought for truth, now fight for us." Kennedy handed him an envelope. Inside was the escrow receipt, signed and notarized, addressed to a veterans' housing charity. "Sir," Kennedy said softly, "this is yours now." The veteran stared at him, gritty hands trembling, eyes reddening. "You mean, this is real?" "It's as real as the fine they gave me," Kennedy replied. "But I think you've earned it more than they have." The media storm that followed was instantaneous. Headlines exploded. "Kennedy defies committee, donates fine to veterans." A $500,000 political gamble or a moral statement? Kennedy's escrow sparks national debate on accountability. Cable hosts argued for hours. Some called it reckless. Others called it righteous. But underneath the noise, something rare was happening. People began talking about veterans again. Not as statistics. Not as campaign props. But as human beings, brothers, sisters, parents, and friends who came home to